Welcome to Hawks Football Weekly. I'm your host, Brant Freeman, with Kenyon Lake head coach Charlie Drum. The Hawks now 7-2. They've won 5 in a row after a 53-35 win over Fredericksburg this past week at Hawks Stadium. Coach, a high-scoring game, a lot of fireworks. You've now won again 5 straight. A lot of fun this past Friday.
Yeah, it was an exciting game, especially if you love offensive football. You know, we had trouble stopping them. We knew they were very potent on offense coming in. Fredericksburg's a very good football team. I'm just proud of the way. It was a good team effort. We had some guys go down with injuries and some guys step up, especially in the second half.
There were a couple of times in the first half in which you were trailing 14-7 and again 21-14, but your team found a way to close the gap. In fact, took the lead going into halftime. Looking at the way your football team has played throughout this season, what's impressed you the most about the way they've responded when facing a deficit?
Yeah, just that overcoming adversity. I think it helped. You know, the 2 losses, you hate to lose football games, but to Giddings, we came back against Giddings, and the way we lost against Wimberley, I think, is in the back of our kids' mind, and they fight. They don't get down on themselves. They fight back when they get down.
So again, you were down 21-14. Well into the second quarter, you get the touchdown to tie the game, 21 apiece, about 3 minutes to go. Your defense forces a 3-and-out, and you score again going into the halftime locker rooms. A touchdown pass to Benjamin Fulton to Tristan Chacon. Just how much momentum did that give you going into the third quarter?
It was huge because Fredericksburg came to play. You know, they came out swinging, had an onside kick, some trick plays, and executed really well. To get that touchdown at the end and at the end of the half and go in up by 7 was very satisfying.
Speaking of execution, your offense has been executing the playbook really well over the past 3 weeks or so. In fact, over the past 4 games, you've now cracked 50 points or more 3 times. How much confidence is your offense playing with?
Oh, a lot. I mean, and it all starts with the offensive line. You know, we got numerous backs that can gain over 100 yards, and that's a testament to our offensive line and our coaches, the game plan they come up with every week.
Now, defensively, again, Fredericksburg got its points, 35 of them, but in the second half, you held the Billies to 13. Do you feel as if your defense has been playing its best in second halves of games this season?
Yeah, it helps to see. Fredericksburg showed us some different things that we hadn't seen on film, and, our coaches made adjustments at halftime. And I think that interception by Trent Lorette was huge in the second half. Any stops in a game like that are huge.
With as well as you're playing right now, again, 5 wins in a row, you're 7-2 on the season. There might be the feeling of let's get right back out there and keep this thing going. But at the same time, you've now played 9 consecutive weeks as well. Just how welcome is the bye week right now?
Oh, yeah, we're banged up right now. Playing Fredericksburg and Bernie back to back. They're 2 physical football teams, and we'll use it to, for some recovery this week.
So you look at the bye week and it get a chance for you to, get a little bit healthier, get ready for the final game of the season, a de facto district championship game against Taylor here in a couple of weeks. What do you work on during the bye week?
Well, a lot of times we go back to fundamentals, things tackling, blocking, things like that, and we'll start teaching what we need to do against Taylor too. But it's not as long. We'll practice 3 days this week. Not as long, probably cut some periods off practice, and then go full tilt on Monday.
Again, Kenyon Lake is off this Friday. They'll next play Taylor on the road 2 weeks from now. We'll talk more about that game coming up in just a bit. But now time for this week's Hawks Hurry Up with their very own Emily Wick. Emily?
Welcome to Hawks Hurry Up. Let's meet this week's challengers. Hawks running back, Tanner Ferris. Hawks senior, Ross Snowden. Hawks senior, Michael Harwell. And a quarterback's worst nightmare, Richard Rosas. This week, our Hawks are challenged with cup stacking. It's tedious and will take focus to win. Let's go, Hawks. First up, Tanner Ferris. Tanner starts out by creating a good solid base for his cup tower. Ross has the headband working for him, and that might just give him the edge in this challenge. Whoa! Fumble! Will that cost Michael? Or can he make up the time? He doesn't seem too worried. Go, Richard! Great technique by taking your time. Oops, a tiny bobble. Let's see if it cost you. Tanner is focused. Perfectly straight rows. He's in this to win this. He's the one to beat now. Uh-oh, Ross. There looks to be a structural flaw there on the right. Maybe it'll hold for you, though. Michael has hit his stride. He's going to be tough to beat. Richard looking for a little help from above. He's pretty solid so far. Keep it up, Richard. Looks like Tanner has this one in the bag. Oh, disaster with 2 cups left. And the weak spot gives way. 2 Hawks down. Richard is liking what he sees. Careful. And he finishes with just 6 seconds to go. Will Richard's time hold up? Michael's almost done. And there it is, 9 seconds to go. Michael, you're our cup stacking champion. Way to go to all our Hawks. But Michael, you did so well, you get a slow-mo celebration. Good job, Hawks. And you, don't go anywhere. Hawks Football Weekly will return in just a moment.
If you bank at Frost, we'll help keep your money safe. If you use your Frost debit card, the chip will make it more secure. If there's a suspicious transaction on your card, you'll get an alert. If you do, you can freeze your card with the Frost app. If you lose your phone, Touch ID login will help keep the app secure. Of course, if all you need is help from people who care, we've got that too.
And welcome back to Hawks Football Weekly. Brant Freeman with Kenny Lake head coach Charlie Drum. Again, the Hawks are off this week. They'll play a couple of weeks from now against Taylor. Coach, I look back at last season, and through 9 weeks, you were 7-2. You opened the season with the wins then over Blanco and Austin Reagan. You followed that up, a couple of tough losses against Wimberley and Giddings, and then you won 5 straight. And this season, the exact pattern has happened again. Have you seen a lot of parallels with the way last year went and how this season's gone for you?
Yeah, it's real similar. We got the same record, and the big difference is the 2 games we lost this year, we had a chance to win in the fourth quarter, and didn't execute. So that was the big difference between the 2 losses last year, where we were beat by, I think, 10, 11 points in both occasions.
You know, I look at your non-district schedule, and I highlight the 2 games you actually did come up short in against Giddings and Wimberley, 2 down-to-the-wire football games. How much of those games helped you get ready for your 14-4A schedule, playing opponents like Fredericksburg and Bernie?
Yeah, just the fact that we were down quite a bit in the first half of the game against Fred twice, I believe, by 7 points apiece. Just fighting back. Our motto this year is to finish. We didn't finish the deal last year, and it's shaping up to be the same deal with Taylor.
Looking at your football team as a whole, 9 games into the season, 7-2. Offensively, defensively, what do you like about your football team, and where do you see room for improvement?
Well, I like the physicality of both our offense and defense. We're pushing people around at the point of attack, which is great. So things we need to improve on, I think, takeaways defensively. We haven't had as many takeaways, and that's a testament to who we're playing. Fred and Bernie are very good offensively, but that's something we need to improve on.
We mentioned the parallels to the season you had a year ago, and in last year, 2016, there was a district championship game that you played at home against Taylor, and 2 weeks from now, you'll be playing for the district championship again, but this time on the road against Taylor. And it was a wild game a year ago against the Ducks. What do you remember about it?
Just, we were up by a couple touchdowns at halftime, and to their credit, Taylor came back, forced some 3-and-outs. We turned the ball over a couple times, and they got back in it in a hurry. But they're a tough ball. We've been kind of snake bit against them the last 3 years. We've lost 3 close games to them. So hopefully our kids are kind of sick of that. So we'll see in a couple weeks. Taylor's
5-3, 2-0 in the district this week. They're going to play Fredericksburg on the road. Looking at the Ducks this season, again, it'll be a couple of weeks before you play them. But what do you know about Taylor?
Just dangerous offensively. Their quarterback's back. They got a big, tall receiver they throw the ball to quite a bit. And they got a dangerous running back there. So they're a spread offense, and they score a lot of points and spread you out. So we'll have our hands full.
And the type of opponent too, Coach, I would imagine that is a great test for your football team going into the playoffs as well.
Yeah, just the speed. They're always, they got some kids that can run. They probably have some of the fastest kids in our district. And just, going against that type of team, because we're going to see teams like that in the playoffs and hopefully down the road in the playoffs.
Well, Coach, enjoy the bye week this week, and best of luck against Taylor a couple of weeks from now.
All right, thank you.
Again, Canyon Lake 7-2 on the year, off this Friday. Back at it 2 Fridays from now against the Taylor Ducks. On the line, the 14-4A District Championship. That'll do it for this week's show. For head coach Charlie Drum, I'm Brant Freeman. This has been Hawks Football Weekly. As always, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.